Hello and welcome to April. I am so happy that we are in April and not in March anymore because March was chaotic. I would say chaotic, but I want it to be like a little classy, so I'm going with chaotic. If you're new here, my name is Cassandra and I create videos on productivity, self-love, and the occasional travel and living abroad vlog. Welcome to my monthly Plan With Me series where each month I review the past month's goals and action steps and then plan for the next month's together. So I want to be honest and share that March was a really turbulent month for me. Originally, I was supposed to only be in the United States for about 2 weeks, but I left earlier than planned because my maternal grandmother was in the hospital and she did pass away in the beginning of the month. And then just with everything else we had originally planned, we had a lot of like familial, what do you call them? Familial life milestone moments that were good and happy. So it ended up being like super emotional whiplash. So you all will see it in the video when we review my March goals, but this is why I say that March was chaotic. Now I am back in Spain, back in my office, as you can see, in Toledo, and ready to dive back into resetting my routines and just really building up a foundation for myself again. So this month we are, well, I say we, but me, I am really focusing on intentional routines and just living life as fully as possible, especially just with everything that went on with my family in March, and just seeing, honestly, death so close and just how interconnected death can be. So y'all will see it when we go into my goals, but really for April, I just want to live as fully as possible, and I want to set up the routines and the systems and the habits to actually support that. So let's just dive into this March review and April planning. Also, in my March Plan With Me video that I will link here, I shared that I have a digital and an analog planning system. So we'll be going through my Notion dashboard and how I set up my goals there. And then I will be showing you my bullet journal, which is where this is more of like the day-to-day, week-to-week, month-to-month type tasks and tracking that I use. Okay, we're gonna jump into my Notion. I'm gonna go through my yearly goals and then we're gonna review all of March and then go into April. Let me share my screen and press record. Okay, so we are back in Notion and here is my yearly plans and goals. I actually went back into my Notion yesterday and like rejudged some of my goals because after everything that happened in Q1, some of the goals that I had and like the timeline that I had for them just didn't make sense anymore. So we had to switch it up. So these are all of my 2024 goals. I may have to like rejig this a little bit as well because sometimes I think the timeline in my mind for some of these goals makes sense, and then when I'm actually like living all of these things, doesn't make sense. So we have all of these. We are going to jump into Q1 to review my March goals. Okay, so here is January, February, and March. So for March, mainly, my two goals were to really celebrate my 32nd birthday and then create content for Washington, D.C. while I was back in the United States visiting my family. So here again are my whys and then how this helps my life. I have that for each of my March goals set up. And it looks like I already crossed some of these things off. So action steps to reach the goal was to decide what I want to do for my birthday, which I did. It was awesome. We went to, like, I had a sister's day with my two sisters, Adriana and Tatiana, and we went into Washington, D.C. We made cute charm necklaces together, and then we had lunch and walked around Eastern Market. That was a lot of fun. We also read in the sun. It was just great. I had a lot of fun doing that. And then at night I had dinner with my parents and my sister, my whole family actually, at an Italian restaurant. That was also a lot of fun. And then we had some really, really good cake from this pastry shop called Lady M. It was matcha. Delicious. And then the next day on my actual birthday, I celebrated it with my cousins on my mom's side of the family when we went to a restaurant called Istanbul Cafe. Or was it Istanbul Grill? I have to double check. But we had Turkish food. It was so good. And I also had kunefe, which is really what I actually wanted just for my birthday. So that was really nice. My birthday was spent with lots of family time, and I haven't really celebrated with my family in a really long time, or my cousins. So it was really nice to just have that intentional moment and share with them. So I can cross off everything on my 32nd birthday goal. So for the Washington, DC content, I had all these plans to like host 2 networking events, to go to other networking events, to network with people, great content, all of that stuff. But it didn't happen, to be honest. I think I only hosted 1 networking event. It was a business mastermind dinner with 2 other Northern Virginia business owners. Well, Northern Virginia and Maryland business owners. So that was really nice. But overall, just with the funeral arrangements for my grandma, and then being there to support my family, there was just like no headspace to do anything else. And I think originally I would be like, previous me would be really upset, and actually workaholic me would be really upset because I didn't like take advantage of this trip to work. I didn't take advantage of this trip to network. But actually, after like my own healing process and like going through therapy and working through like my workaholic tendencies, I don't feel any sort of guilt for not working or not like quote unquote taking advantage of my time to do business things, and really just having the opportunity to be with my family, to be there for my mom really, and show up wherever they needed me. Like, I think before moving abroad and away from my family, that stuff would make me really upset because I felt like my time was just controlled by everybody else in my family. But now just being there and just seeing how death like truly impacts so many people's lives, I am so happy that I had the flexibility to support my family and didn't need to focus on work. And I'm also happy that I didn't feel guilty not focusing on work. So I'm going to cross off some of these things. I did not make a list of content ideas to create because there was just no time and headspace for this. So I'm gonna not check this off. I did not attend any networking events or business events because just no time for that. I did network kind of, but not really, with other local creators. So I didn't actually meet anybody else. It was mostly just seeing family, seeing like not just my immediate family, but like my extended family and then my extended family. So I got to see so many people I haven't seen in so long. I guess that's what death does. It brings people together. And also we had my cousin's wedding to celebrate, so we saw even more family. It was just, y'all, it was a lot. So really the only thing that I did for Washington, DC content was host a networking event in Northern Virginia. And I feel totally fine with that. Yeah. Okay, side note, because I didn't mention this while I was recording my March review, but I feel like it's really, really important to celebrate your progress and your wins. So for all of Q1, I feel really, really proud of where I am at, and also all of the systems and taking like slow progress towards setting up systems and routines to live more intentionally. So to celebrate, I booked myself a facial appointment in April. So I will be going to get a facial to celebrate all of the progress that I have and just celebrating my wins and taking some time to take care of me. And I also splurged like 50 bucks on stickers from a small business that I found on Instagram. They've got super cute stickers and washi tape. They are closed now. It's called Shop Keone. But yeah, that's what I like treated myself to. It wasn't exactly what I had on my celebrations list, but it is what feels good for me. Okay, and on that note, let's go into April's goals in my Notion. Okay, let's go back into Notion and go to quarter 2 where I have planned out my next quarter's goals, specifically April. I kind of started actually filling out May and June, but didn't go like super into detail. So here are my quarter 2 goals and specifically April. I transferred some of the goals that I had in quarter 1, specifically I think in January, February, and put them again in April because just with everything that went on in March, I feel like I need a little bit of a reset and to prioritize some of my routines again. So I just moved them into the April section as well. And then we have May and June. So actually I've got a lot going on in April because in May, I will be traveling again, so I'm just trying to like crank things out. Also, I don't have any plans in April, so I'm just staying here in Toledo, which I think is really nice, and I will be staying put and just doing what I need to do to get my life in order. So here are my April goals. We've got consistent routines, continuously published on YouTube 2 times a week. I tried to do that in February, it didn't happen. March definitely didn't happen. So we're gonna try to do this again in April. And then another one of my goals is to sell services and content. So let me close these and let's go through each of these goals one by one. So my consistent routines, here's the why behind that. I want to feel good in my routines and body, and it's a foundation for everything else that I want to do and achieve. I also really want to create better habits that support the lifestyle I want and really take care of my body so I can be strong and well and honor the body and like really the vessel that I just like my soul lives in. That sounded really like meta, but kind of that's the vibe I'm going for. How this helps my life. This helps my life because the more I have routines and habits that support me, it will help me make strides towards things that will improve my livelihood. In my mind, I think I will feel more fulfilled and more involved in all the areas of my life. So here are my action steps. I want to reset my morning and nighttime routine. I want to block off times in my calendar for routine so I know like what time my nighttime routine starts. I feel like I kind of just did it whenever I was getting ready for bed and that kind of just fluctuated a lot. But I really want like a set time to say like, okay, 10 o'clock, 10:30 p.m. Is when I start my nighttime routine so that I can like start winding down instead of like getting trapped into the scroll of TikTok. And then whenever I like can't keep my eyes open anymore, I'm like, okay, it's time to start my nighttime routine. I want to create a list of at-home workouts and stretch videos to follow. So the days that I don't go boxing, I want to do like some at-home workouts. And I found that when I have like a list that I can always pull from, I am way more likely to actually do that workout instead of kind of just like brushing it off. So I want to make a list of that. I also want to block off 30 to 45 minutes in my calendar for walks. Right now I put it like super early in the morning at like 9 o'clock. Let's be honest, I did not take those walks at 9 o'clock in the morning. So I want to like block off that time maybe after lunch or something when it's like the middle of the day. So I can take a 30 to 45 minute walk on the days that I don't go to boxing as well. I also want to create a list of tapping and guided meditations to watch in the morning. So my friend Molly and I are accountability partners and we were just talking about like different mindset things to keep our mindset like clear and also to work on mindset. So like imposter syndrome or self-doubt don't creep in. And if they do creep in, which is normal, I actually have tools to manage all of that. I feel like for quarter 1, I didn't put a lot of emphasis on my mindset. I kind of just was like, oh yeah, I know, like rationally, logically, I know, but I think I really do need to work on my mindset more actively. So I really like tapping. I think it's called EFT tapping, and you kind of like tap on your body and like your head and your face and like repeat affirmations. So that's what I want to do more of. So I want to create a list for that. I want to start sending out birthday cards to people. So I have a list of like, I guess like my family, my friends, their birthdays and their addresses. So here are like the 3 people that I want to send birthday cards to. And I really want to prioritize that each month and just have fun sending those things. And it's like a nice little surprise. So that is also like a consistent routine that I want to start setting up. And then I kind of just threw this one in here because it's not really a routine, but I want to decide a date and some events for Toledo. So I want to host an outdoor clothing swap and maybe either a book swap or a silent book reading event. We will see. I'm not totally sure which one yet. I know I said that Toledo, and also April in Toledo, Toledo in April, whatever that means, is pretty calm. So I don't know if it's me trying to like add more things to my plate or I really want to host an event. I'm gonna like sit on it for a little bit more before I actually dive into planning and see if this is something that I actually really want to do and if something that I'm actually craving, or I'm just trying to like keep myself busy. So that is the first goal, consistent routines. The second one is to continuously publish on YouTube 2 times a week. Again, I had this goal, I think in February, and it didn't really happen. I like did it for 2 weeks and I was really proud of myself, and then life happened, and then March, life really happened. So I'm doing it again for April. The why behind my goal is the same, and also how this helps my life is the same. And here are some of the action steps that I listed out. So I need to update my April to June content calendar for YouTube and my Instagram. I actually already did this before recording this video, so I'm gonna cross this off. Script, record, and edit videos. I've scripted some videos already for April, but I need to script a little bit more, so I'm gonna leave this blank. This is me just saying, let's go. This is me just kind of like cheering myself on, y'all. And then a big intention for me is to be at least 1 week ahead of schedule so that it gives me like ample time to script, record, and edit instead of trying to like squeeze everything into 1 week, especially since I want to publish 2 videos a week. Y'all wish me luck in the comments because I know this is an intensive posting schedule, but like I really want to challenge myself to do it. All right, and the last goal that I've got for April is to sell my services and content. Let's go into the why behind this goal. So really, my livelihood, y'all. Like if I don't sell as an online business owner, as a business owner in general, if I do not sell, then I just don't make money for my livelihood. And your girl's got to make some money for her livelihood. The more I sell my services and content, the more I can provide for the life I want. Travel, specifically, surprise, I am going to Vietnam with my family in May to June, and I want to be able to contribute to that trip. My parents are so kind and said, like, I just need to get there, and this is like a family trip, so they are taking care of all of the tours that we're doing. But come on, I'm 32 and I want to like contribute to this trip, which means I have to sell to contribute to this trip. I want to save for a home. I want to buy basic necessities, and I want to send gifts for my family and friends. How this helps my life, and this one I think I need to tap on because reading this to you all and like admitting this is kind of scary. But honestly, the more money I have, the more I can show up how I want to. I have the resources to donate, invest, live well, have time to volunteer, and feel safe. So that's why this is like super important to me. Selling, I know to some people it sounds super icky, but as a business owner, I need to do it, and I want to do it because it will help provide for the life I want to live, and also to show up for my family and my friends the way I want to. So here are the action steps. This is a lot. I probably won't read through all of them, but just to give you all a taste of some of the action steps, I need to downsize my business, the Quirky Pineapple Studio. We have less clients now. We aren't taking on retainer clients. So I need to just review our business expenses and see what we can cut or what we can downsize so that we are paying less and our overhead expenses aren't too high. I really need to sell. So I plan on selling Pick My Brain sessions. So if you are interested in a 1-hour consult with me to talk about digital marketing, location independence, setting up a business, all of that stuff, you can, I've linked the Pick My Brain consult in the video description. I've also got website audits and strategy sessions, and with my business, the Quirky Pineapple Studio, we plan on hosting a pop-up LinkedIn profile optimization masterclass. Stay tuned for that. So here I just got like different things for like, these are really high level strategy pieces of how I will sell on email, YouTube, the Quirky Pineapple Studio Instagram, my personal Instagram, and LinkedIn. And then this is just something for me to keep in mind for May, but I want to have my personal website ready so that I can just sell more through my personal website as me, the creator, consultant, and speaker. And then the Quirky Pineapple Studio website will be for the actual creative marketing and media agency. Okay, so those are my 3 big goals for April. I feel like they're 3 big goals, and then within those goals are little mini goals. That's why I set up the action steps so that I can keep myself accountable and show up for myself. Of course, in my bullet journal, which is what we're gonna go through next, this is when I will be tracking all of those things and breaking them down even further. So I feel good about my April goals and how it's going to help me show up more intentionally, as well as just really challenging me to step out a little bit more. I feel like over the past year and a half, I kind of got complacent with how I show up in my business, how I do things in my marketing, how I create content, and I feel like now it's just like a fresh start to show up and do things differently. I have like a blank slate, and I have my partner's support to try things and experiment. So it's an experimentation period for me, which I'm very excited about. Okay, so those were my like digital goals and like how I keep track of like the high level big picture things in Notion. Let's go into review my bullet journal, which is more of the day-to-day tracking. Now that we went through my digital goal planning, let's go into my analog version, which is my bullet journal. Let's review my March bullet journal. So last time I recorded my March review with me, or March plan with me, I didn't actually set up intentions. So my intentions for March were to enjoy my birthday at home, spend quality time with family, study for my driver's license, publish consistently on YouTube, have 5 people join the Surge marketing program, and then have 2 Pick My Brain sessions sold. And I can already tell you all that I did enjoy my birthday at home. I spent a lot of quality time with my family. I did not study for my driver's license. I did not publish consistently on YouTube. I didn't have 5 people join Surge, but we did have 3, so I think that's still a win. And have 2 Pick My Brain sessions sold. Also didn't happen because for most of March, I barely sold anything. Nor did I have the intention to actually sell. I feel like it was just, again, a little bit of a fever dream in March. So again, here is that. And then I also have my March dashboard. So in my March dashboard, I keep track of 3 main things to do in March, my master to-do list, books to read, and then my daily habit trackers. Let me just show you all my March dashboard because honestly, I didn't do anything. I think I tracked one day where I took a walk in the park behind my parents' house. And then if I did exercise or if I did do something, I did not track it because I honestly don't think I had like the headspace or the capacity, I think, to sit down and track stuff. Things were just moving so quickly and I was just like in limbo land for a lot of March, and that's okay. Like I said before, I would have felt like, I think old me would have felt really guilty about that, but I feel like I did what I needed to do for myself to like take care of myself and to show up for my family. And yes, maybe I could have been a little bit better about nighttime routine or just like taking a 5-minute walk, but I am not going to reminisce on that because it'll just fill me with resentment. I also had planned to finish this book that my friend Christina lent me, and y'all didn't get through this either. I am only like in the very beginnings of the book, so I am bringing this book into April to read. My headspace just was not there to really keep track of like exercise, to even study for my driver's license, Didn't do my nighttime routine. Maybe like random sporadic days, but honestly, nothing happened. And I don't want to say like I'm letting myself off easy and like giving myself a little like free pass, but I did what I could and I showed up to the best of my ability for myself and to my family. I think I was just thrown into a situation that like I hadn't dealt with before, and I also, instead of like doing all of the other things that I wanted to do, we found a lot of really old photos from my grandma in her apartment and then on my dad's side of the family as well. So I took it upon myself to create like a little project and scan a whole bunch of old photos. So I scanned over like 200 photos from my mom's side and my dad's side, trying to document as much as possible. I found photos of my great-great-grandparents and my great-grandparents, and some of my like aunts and uncles that have passed away, and I just scanned all of them as much as I could. I like organized and I scanned, I put them up into digital files and shared them with my aunts and uncles, and that just took a lot of time as well. So maybe I didn't get to do my movement tracker or my studying or reading or really anything that I had planned for March, but I did take the opportunity to go through hundreds of photos of my family, pick out the best ones, organize them, and then scan them to share so that these photos don't get lost. Like y'all, I found pictures of my grandma on my mom's side, the grandma that did pass away, when it was like the 1950s. I think like 1956 is the oldest photo I found of her. And then I also found pictures of my great-grandparents on my dad's side, and I think those were from like probably the 1940s. So through like all of the pictures that I scanned, I probably found up to 4 generations of my family, and I might cry. Okay, so the breadth of legacy that I was able to just keep track of and scan as best as I could and like digitize as best I could is amazing, because that spanned 4 generations, and that is, if you think about it, like 100 years from maybe like when my great-grandparents were alive, like their photos up until like me and my middle sister and even my little sister, we had pictures, and up to like my cousins who are only 13 years old. Like going from that generation all the way down to now, present day, like sometimes I just think, whoa, that is like hundreds, like 100 years of stories and legacy and history of my family. Yeah, I didn't get to study for my driver's license or cross off book number 5 on my reading list, but the fact that I was able to do that and have the space to do that and take it and like create that little project for myself, I am really, really proud and just happy that it got done, because I feel like those are things that most people say they want to do, and then you just don't have time for it. And I was just like, okay, I'm only here for 3 weeks, this has got to get done, and I just cranked it all out in a week. It was a lot, y'all, but I'm really grateful that yes, I had the opportunity to do something like that, even though I didn't have the capacity to follow all of like my productivity routines. And I feel like that is just a different type of productivity, a different type of self-care, to really remember my family. Yeah, I don't even know like how to describe it, but yeah. even though March did not go as planned and we had all of these other things come up and I was still able to do a really amazing project, nonetheless, I am very excited to be back at home in Toledo, be back in my office and just have my routines again. So here is my April bullet journal cover. I have to still write my intentions over here. Again, we've got joy and pleasure at the top because I need to prioritize that instead of business since I am a recovering workaholic. My personal goals and then the business intentions. And this is what my cover page looks like for April. And then I also created a monthly dashboard again. So I created my same monthly dashboard that I have been doing for the past, I don't know, 6-7 months now. It has like a lot of the same things that I kept track of in March. I have to fill this in, which I haven't done yet. So I'll probably set some time aside this weekend to just go through my goals again and just write down like important things that I want to keep track of and prioritize. And then on this side, I created my monthly YouTube content planner. So I have one in Notion, which I didn't show you all, but I do have one in Notion where I kind of like script videos, write out video descriptions, and also where I track like tags and SEO stuff. But I wanted something that I could just actually mark down that I edited and filmed and published videos on a monthly basis. One that I could look at and kind of like, you know, analog version, scratch things out and move things around with arrows and stuff. So I drew one for myself here. So this is where I will be tracking the 2 times a week videos that I will be hopefully posting all of April. And we've already got the first week of April down, so here is my weekly spread. And I am just keeping track of course, like my daily tasks, things I need to do for work, and then specific events that I've got planned for the week here. And that is all of my April bullet journal so far. I'm not totally sure what the rest of my weeks will look like. I usually like to just create them on a week-by-week basis. So I sit down on Sundays and kind of just like plan things out. But I feel really good. I'm really excited about my April dashboard and also this new YouTube content calendar that I've got for my bullet journal. I haven't ever done one of these before, especially for YouTube. So I really like this layout. I need to fill it in and then keep track of like my growth goals so I can see how much I grew, what grew, and all of that stuff. Those are all of my April goals for this month. I've got my routines. I want to really double down on YouTube, and I also want to double down on selling my services and content more so I can really just provide for my livelihood and also show up in ways and not have money be like a limitation for the things that I want to do. What are your goals for April? Let me know in the comments. I would love to know what you are prioritizing or focusing on. What are your action steps? Have you gone through your monthly planning and like intention setting? I would love to hear all of that. And yeah, that's all we've got for March and April. Honestly, I just want to live more fully. I want to live more intentionally. And after everything that happened in March with my grandma's passing and seeing like how important flexibility is for me and the lifestyle that I live, the flexibility and the opportunity to fly back immediately to the United States and be there for my family, that just showed me that I want more of that in my life. So I'm using April to really set that up for myself, especially living abroad, living far away from my family and my closest friends. My parents are aging. Like I want that. I want that, I need that, that is really important for me. So I'm going to be using this month to really build all of those things for myself. Anyway, March was legit a fever dream for me, and I'm just ready to slow down in April. So I'm excited to see how all of my action steps go and where my goals are by the end of the month. How was March for you? Was it a fever dream? Was it hectic? Was it like good? Let me know in the comments, and then let me know what your goals are for April so we can keep each other accountable. All right, folks, I will see you in the next video. Thanks for hanging with me, watching through this entire thing. If you did, thank you. And I will see you in the next video. Ciao!